20 gauge slug guns in general are more accurate than their 12 gauge counterparts. Plus, they're a lot easier to carry, a lot less recoil, a lot more fun to shoot. We're going to see if this Savage 220 can kill a deer at 100 yards. Historically, the Remington AccuTips are the best shooters. We're going to try two different loads right now. Federal Trophy Copper 3-inch 275 grain and 2 3/4 inch Hornady Superformance Monoflex. So we'll see what they do. We've got fresh paper set up at 100 yards. So let's get to it. So there's our Federal Trophy Coppers. Here's our Savage 220 with a 3x9 Bushnell scope on it. And we've got a target out there, 100 yards, laser verified. We'll zoom in. We'll start out with the left-hand target, see if we're on the paper, see what happens. Certainly more than good enough to kill a deer at 100 yards. Those are 3 dead deer. But we've got some vertical stringing there, which I don't like. But not bad. Point blank range of most slug guns with the better ammo like this is 160, 165 yards, sighted 3 inches high, and not going beneath 3 inches low throughout its trajectory plane. So it's just center of the body and pull the trigger out to about 160. Well, let's rinse and repeat. Here's our 2 3/4 inch Hornady Monoflex Superformance loads. We're using the same Savage 220, and we're using the same target out at 100 yards. More targets, I should say. We'll be going for the right-hand target this time. And we'll see what happens with 3 quick shots. That's pretty darn good for a slug gun with a 2 3/4 inch unfolded length hull. Obviously the Hornady in this gun is superior load by quite a bit. Problem is that that's only my Savage 220. Your results may well be the exact opposite, because slug guns, they're very ammunition sensitive, and you just have to try a couple different loads and see what happens. But obviously the Hornady is really a good shooter here. Those last 2 holes are essentially touching, so that's great accuracy out of a factory slug gun with a plastic stock and you know, no bedding, no nothing, just a factory gun and a generic 3x9 scope. So that's anybody be happy to hunt with that. Certainly out to 160 yards, it's not going to present much of a problem. Most deer are taken inside 100 anyway. Depending on the cover, you might be shooting inside 60 yards, because that's about as far as you can see unless you've got fresh snow on the ground. And in the timber, it's hard to find a shooting lane beyond 50, 60 yards in the thick stuff. The exterior ballistics for both of these are essentially identical to their 12 gauge counterparts, but that said, they're all bogus. The Federal Trophy Copper is rated for 1900 feet per second, but that's through the SAMI industry standard 30-inch barrel. Savage has a 22-inch barrel, so you can just forget about that. You're losing 8 inches of barrel length, which is a big drop in velocity. about a couple hundred feet per second. The same thing is true with the Hornady. It's rated at 1800. You'll be lucky to see 1650, but that's still all you need for most deer hunting applications, out to 160 yards or so with no holdover. So the Hornady would go hunting in this Savage, and it probably will. My brother and my nephew got some tags this year. I'll be muzzle loading, but we'll give him the Savage 220, and maybe Jack can bag his first deer this year. Fun gun to shoot, low recoil, not much not to like. Here's a closer look at our targets. The Federal Trophy Coppers out of the Savage 220 are on the left. That's significant vertical stringing, which I don't like. Horizontal stringing that you can easily attribute to wind, although it's a calm day today. 10 to 15 mile an hour wind can easily account for 2.5 inches of horizontal movement. But vertical stringing, I don't like that one bit. Obviously the target on the right, the Hornady, far better group, more consistent group, so that would be my choice of what to hunt with.